All right, we're here on the Commencal Tempo Power. This is an SX driven, or an SX Bosch motor driven e-bike, which is the mid-power bike. And instead of a full power bike, we're on a pretty popular climbing trail here in Moab, Utah. We're going up the Amasa Back Road, Cliffhanger, otherwise known as Cliffhanger. This is how you access Captain Ahab Jackson, Pothole, Arch, and Rock Stacker. We're not riding any of those today because those trails don't allow e-bikes, but on the 4x4 trail, e-bikes are crazy fun. So we're gonna go up and down the road and ride this Tempo Power. This bike is a 135 mil rear travel, 150 mil fork. It's designed to be a trail ripper, good at everything, still lighter than a full power bike, and still has tons of punch in the motor. Holy smokes. This SX drive unit is something else. Let's see what this guy does. Yeah. Oh, easy. Look at that. Tempo Power really has some power. Look at it go. Whoa! Okay, that's fun. All right, down we go. Yeah, cool. So far, so good. Woo! Caught my pedal a little there. That was my fault though. Oh, horse poop. Woo! Yeah, man, this thing charges. It is so fun though. This bike definitely, it feels more than a 135 mil bike, I'll tell you that. Yeah, took that. Rat. Holy cow. There's a hard compression in that one. Just because of the nature of the trail. Whoa. It handled it like a boss. Oh, this is so fun. Wow. Right when you feel like you're gonna run out of that 135 mil, it gives you just a little bit more. It feels pretty bottomless. It gives you a little bit more like confidence to just push, to just slam it a little bit harder. Morning. Whoa, that is fun. Ridden Captain Ahab, Lower Ahab. This is where you join back up to the Jeep Road. Fun section down to the creek here. Fun little jump right here. Wrap! Oh, to the new gate. Much better than the old gate. That just got put in. Some baby head section here. Ah, yeah, nimble but stable. Yeah. Let's go slow through the water. Not get too sandy. Oop. That's it. Okay. Tempo power, 135 mil rear, 150 front. Feels like more. Still super flickable. The weight of the light power e-bike actually makes it feel more stable and better on the bumps, in my opinion. It is ridiculously fun. Not as cumbersome as a full power bike. Still tons of power going uphill. You feel like a superhuman. And this is a trail bike with a motor in it. And it feels like a trail bike coming down that stuff. There's a few instances I backed off just a little. I'll be interested to go ride the Meta SX with 170 mil travel right now and do a back-to-back comparison. But fun factor on this bike is a 10 out of 10. Meta SX. That means it's got an SX Drive Bosch motor in it, 400 watt-hour battery. This is a 170 mil rear, 170 mil front bike. We are going up a Moab Cliffhanger Jeep Road. They changed this. If you haven't been here in just a hot minute, the 4x4 Trail Alliance changed this very entrance move. You used to basically have to walk. Now you can ride up it, and it creates less of a congestion point, I guess, for bikes and vehicles. That's why they did it. Again, I'm sorry, it's a point of view video with just a few little shots from not on the bike, but that's what we got today. Wanted to get you some initial impressions of these bikes back to back. Today is February 10th, 2025 in Moab, Utah. You're with Chile Pepper Bike Shop. I'm one of the owners. My name is Cole. I like bikes. Generally, people who are watching these videos tend to like bikes too. Going back up some of the similar spots as that Tempo. Just a techie climb here that everybody does. Even on your way to Haimasa, you go up this hill. Wow. 170 mil bike with a mid-power motor. Sure makes that easy. All right, see how we do on the 170 mil bike on this little spot. Oh yeah, no problems. That is so cool. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't feel really any harder to climb than on the Tempo Power. The Tempo Power is much more a trail bike, better for climbing, but this was a techie steep little deal. This 170 mil bike was just fine. If you are just going up Haimasa single track, you'll miss this section. It goes around this bit. Again, I'm just going up and down the road today because that's where e-bikes are allowed for now. Keep your eyes open for some changes in trail designations to e-bikes in the Moab area. BLM is going to make a decision on that at some point here. Oh, this bike went right up that. Maybe in the next year or so is potentially going to open some of the single track around Moab to e-bikes, but they're pretty tight-lipped about it because they're still going through their process. Another techie section here. Oop. Didn't pull up quite quick enough on the rear wheel. Kind of dinged it a little, but ain't no thing. Yeah, I mean, back-to-back riding, Tempo Power versus Meta SX Power. Oh, climbing does not feel that much different to me. This bike, even though it's 170 mil, Boy, she climbs like a dream. And I'm not talking about pedaling efficiency, obviously. Motor's doing that for me. I'm just talking about balance of the bike, traction, all those things. And nothing on here is crazy, crazy steep, but it's certainly technical. This bike sure feels good. We're heading down on the 170 mil bike. Oh. That felt pretty good. Whoa. Ooh, that felt really good. Yeah, feels good deep in the travel. Feels good high in the travel. Not having to, I don't have to back down from anything. I did pull the brakes a few times on the tempo through there, and I really didn't on this bike. Just charges harder, obviously. Should. Oh, that wasn't a very good line. As it should, since it's a bigger bike. Ooh, these shadows are kind of hard to see. Nice. Very good there. Oh, not as good there. Tempo going up those little steps is better. Just a little lighter, a little easier to create that energy to bunny hop this bike. It's just bigger. Deeper travel, harder to get off the ground right when you want to, but it sure plows a lot more. Oh yeah. Oh, that was nice on this bike. Missed the horse poop. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it just encourages you to go more aggressive, as it should. It's a bigger bike. Still plenty nimble. You can feel the weight a little more of this one. I think this one's 48 or 49 pounds versus the Tempo Power, which is like 41 or 42. You feel that, but for what it is, the extra weight on this bike doesn't make it feel worse. It makes it feel different. It makes it more gravity oriented, charge harder, but really good. All right, last section coming up. That was not the right line. I almost died on that rock. Sorry, bike. You okay? That was 100% my fault, not the bike. I couldn't decide if I was going left line or right line. And you know what? I actually think this bike just saved my life. Yeah. All right. Okay, so I mean, not to sound like a broken record, but this bike charges harder downhill. It climbs dang near as well uphill. Some of those super steep technical uphills, you do feel that length of that fork. You do feel a little off balance rearward just because you got more up there. There's nothing you can do about that. The tempo feels a little bit better on those really steep things. But man, overall this bike just smashes. If you're looking for a gravity oriented bike with a really punchy motor that doesn't weigh that much, that still feels extremely nimble and bikey underneath you, maybe give this one a go. It's pretty darn fun. Fairly impressed. Another 10 out of 10 fun factor bike. All right, here we are on the Commencal Meta TR Power. This is a full power e-bike driven by the Bosch CX motor with a 600 or a 625 watt hour battery inside here. So this is the bike that weighs the most. Now the Meta TR is a 140 mil rear, 150 mil front, I believe. Only 5 mil more than the Tempo Power. And this bike is a single pivot, shock driven by linkage bike. So the other two bikes are Commencal's new suspension design that they just dropped out. I forget what it's even called. But this suspension design is just straight up classic Commencal single pivot awesomeness. I love single pivot bikes. So let's see how this full power rig goes. Bikes that I was on, the mid-power bikes, were also the signature builds, which is top of the line, kind of nicest everything you can have. This bike here is called the Essential build, which is their most popular build, I guess. Oh. And the Essential build is basically like what you can just smash and ride hard forever, but it also meets a nice price point for consumers. That's why they call it Essential. And let's see how she fares out here on the super rough Moab Jeep road. Right away, I can definitely feel the extra power compared to those mid-power bikes. This full power bike just straightening motors, but doesn't feel like heavy per se, just kind of goes. Yeah, she goes fast. That's fun. This is lap 3. I saved the most power for the last lap on purpose. Oh. She just goes right up. Very maneuverable. Easy to get up those steps. Ooh, she's fast. Mid-power bikes handled this section beautifully. Let's see how the full power rig goes. Oh, I was able to actually take a more aggressive, straighter line through there. Holy cow, that's amazing. Okay, well, it climbs better than the other two. As expected, more power equals faster, better climbing. Great weight too, like perfect weight distribution on this bike. Wow. Jumping uphill. Oh, that's something you don't do on regular bikes. This going up this little nose right here, it's a pretty precise little move. Oh my gosh, no problem. That's ridiculous. Oh, failure. I don't know how much e-bikes like trials riding, but I tried. Super 8's hard to get up. Oh, smooth bike. Tell you what, this 140 mil Meta TR, pretty stinking impressive. Oh man, unbelievably fun. I really love the 140 mil travel on a full power bike. It bridges that gap of, you know, like most full power bikes are 170 mil, 160 mil rear, you know, lots up front, and you combine this heavy battery and heavy bike with a big squishy suspension package, and it's just a lot to handle. I feel like this bike, with its 140 mil rear end, it feels really connected to the trail as far as you can feel the trail through it. It's a little bit rougher, obviously, than a 170 mil bike would be, but to me, this is like a really fun package for a full power bike. You can feel the trail, you feel like a super duper duper human on the way up, and you can kind of smash on the way down in the sense of like move the bike around and whatnot. Is it heavier? Yes, but when you have that shorter travel package, it kind of takes the heaviness away, believe it or not, is what I'm finding on this bike. So, and after riding it, this was my first shakedown on this bike. This is my first ride on it. And I think it's the most fun full power bike that I have ever ridden. And right, we're after fun, at least I'm after fun. This bike checks all the boxes of fun. It's super responsive, really fun to wheelie up and kind of hop up things. And when you have less suspension to deal with, that feels easier, more fun, and better. It's just more crisp, I would say, in all ways. But that single pivot design in the back with 140 mil travel, it's no slouch. I mean, you can smash it, but you can also move it around. So like, I am extremely impressed with this bike. If you're going from a regular pedal bike with no battery to this bike, it definitely feels like a lot. You definitely get used to it though. It's not something you cannot get used to. It just takes a little bit longer too on this bike because of the weight. Just your timing is different, and having that weight underneath you, it's not a bad thing. When you get used to it, I feel like in a lot of ways full power e-bikes feel better on the trail. Now the other bikes, these two bikes that are the lighter power bikes, they bridge the gap a little bit more of, okay, I'm used to a regular bicycle, and then you swing your leg over one of these, you feel like a superhuman on the way up, and on the way down there's really not much difference than a regular bike. Like, the learning how to ride these bikes or switching back and forth, these are completely automatic. You feel like a superhuman on the way up, and on the way down you are just right in the flow of like, yeah, I'm riding a bike. It's quick, it's nimble, it's poppy, it's playful. You can smash them if you want, but like the weight difference is just not astronomical, and they're just, oh, they're so fun. Such a huge fun factor. And then this one is just a step up from that on the weight things. It's definitely a little bit different timing, but gosh, on the way up it is ridiculously fun. Jumping things uphill, who doesn't like doing that? And can you do that on those little bikes? Not really. These pack a powerful punch for sure, don't get me wrong. I'm extremely impressed with the power on these bikes, but this one rips hardcore on the way up. I'm lucky enough, guys, that I have a whole bunch of regular bikes and a whole bunch of e-bikes in different power configurations and travel configurations, because We own a bike shop in Moab, and it's a dream come true. And so I feel extremely blessed and fortunate to be able to even make this video for y'all. What I get to experience at work, maybe you can come experience it too by renting a whole bunch of different bikes and feel all this stuff for yourself.